Hello. Welcome to Coach Fig's English class.
Hello. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Everyone say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Let's do this. All right, we're going to cover and some more. That's a good spot for it. Okay. So remember, we just finished Darius with the clouds, right? And we talked about how Darius was a younger person, and he sounded kind of dumb a couple times. And they even said he was less intelligent, right? And then he said that very unbelievably intelligent thing about how God was that cloud, right? We talked about that. That kind of blends us into this a little bit because we're going to build on the Bildungs Roman idea with this chapter. So remember, Bildungs Roman is a coming of age story, right? So we watch them go from young to old. I want you to pinpoint where you think it's young, where you think it's old, and know that I'm going to set the scene here. And some more is Rachel and Lucy hanging out with their fellow bike owners. Remember, they all bought that bike together. Nenny and Esperanza. So they're all hanging out. You guys probably do this a lot, where you're sitting at the lunch table, and it probably looks a lot like this. And you guys are all talking, and likely there's more than one conversation going on. Usually it's the ones across the table, right? Not just the one you're sitting next to. Or you and the person next to you, you two are having a conversation, and all of a sudden you start talking to someone across the other side of the table, and then there's like 3 conversations going on, right? Well, that's what it's going to look like up here. If you just read this, it would be very confusing. But since I've set the scene for you, hopefully it's less confusing, all right? Here we go. The Eskimos got 30 different names for snow, I say. I read it in a book. I say. So who said that? Esperanza, our main character. I got a cousin, Rachel says. She got 3 different names. Remember, she's Texan, so she'll have an accent today. Okay? There ain't 30 different kinds of snow, Lucy says. There are 2 kinds, the clean kind and the dirty kind. Clean and dirty, only 2. There are a million zillion kinds, says Nenny. No 2 exactly alike. Only how do you remember which one is which? She got 3 last names, and let me see, 2 first names, 1 in English and 1 in Spanish. What are they talking about? Absolutely nothing.
Everything and anything.
And so what has happened is the first thing that came up was that Eskimos got different names for snow. 30 of them. Which is like, you ever sat with somebody and they're like, fun fact. Bears eat beets.
Oh, yes.
Bears beets Battlestar Galactica. Right? So this is if you don't watch The Office, then you just totally missed my joke. And if you watch The Office, I was just hilarious.
I got it.
For those who didn't get it, you need to go watch The Office for homework, okay? The whole 9 seasons and then come back. The Eskimos got 30 different names for snow. So now we're talking about snow. And I read it in a book. Okay, so then I got a cousin who's got 3 different names. It's kind of random, but sometimes your brain works on tangents, especially when you're young. There ain't 30 different kinds of snow, Lucy says. There's only 2, clean and dirty. Okay, there are 2 types of people in this world. There are types of people that say that there's 2 ways to do things or 1 way to do things, right? And then there are people that are like, there's a million zillion kinds of ways. That's 2 different ways of looking at life. There are people out there that are closed-minded and open-minded. Y'all know those people? Closed-minded and open-minded. I'll write it out for you so you don't forget. Minded. Okay? The closed-minded person is going to say that there is 2 types of snow, clean and dirty. Don't eat the yellow snow. Solid advice. Live life by that principle. Anybody that lives up north really understands that. Okay? Then there's the open-minded people that are like, There's not just one way to do things. There's not just two ways. There's a million zillion ways to do things. You can think on this campus yourself of teachers and people that are like good examples of both of these. Okay? You're probably sitting in a table group that has more than one type of person. For example, a million zillion kinds of ways to do things. I just went by Miss Sitt's art room. There's a million zillion different projects going on right now. See? There's oil, there's those string things, there's the paint can thing, there's a million things happening right now. But there's a million zillion ways to do things. Right? He's very open-minded. There's people that are closed-minded though. There's one way to do things, this is it, and off of that you can do it this way or this way. That's it. Right? Football's a lot like that. There's a right way to do things. It's this way. And if you don't all do it right, we're going to screw up the play. Soccer is different from that. It's more free-flowing. There's a million zillion ways to do it. Does that make sense? The differences in the sports are very clear. All right. So she got 3 last names. Let me see. 2 first names and 1 last name and all these whatever. Oh, gosh. Let me look. Oh, yeah. Okay, so clean and dirty. Where did I go? Where did I go? Okay. If I said clean and dirty symbolically, what would I be saying? If she says there's a clean way to do things and a dirty way to do things, what are we saying? Mm-hmm.
Maybe the dirty be like the bad way, like the wrong way, or like, and then right, and then clean be the right way, or like the good way.
This is the good people and the bad people, right? You're just good or you're bad. That's like leaving out a huge chunk of people that make mistakes in life, right? Is anybody here perfect?
No.
No. So you're all bad then, right?
No. Yep.
No, we're all gray. We've got a mixture of both. So there's good and bad. There's people that think that, right? You're either good or you're bad. And then there's people out there that are open-minded. Do you see where I'm going with this on a deeper level? Right? Where am I going? I heard somebody say, yeah. Are you just nodding along?
No,
What?
she said dad.
Because we all make mistakes.
Oh, Gad? What?
Because we all make mistakes, it doesn't mean that we're all bad, because then we would all be bad.
Right. We all make mistakes, so we're all good. Good people make mistakes too.
For the open-minded people are going to like accept those people who make mistakes.
They accept it, and they don't. Right? A closed-minded person is going to say, nope. Which type of person believes in second chances, do you think?
Open-minded.
An open-minded person. So, acceptance, not believing. So there's this deeper concept here. This whole concept of clean and dirty and this whole concept of all this. This is the people that say, just us, all brown, all around, right? And this is the kind of person that's like accepting of all different cultures and all different peoples. Does that make sense? On a deeper level? Okay, good. It's a larger chapter. It's like 4 pages. I know.
That's a big one.
So we're going to try to continue on. Try to keep up with who's talking in this. And clouds got at least 10 different names, I say. Names for clouds, Nenny says. Names just like you and me. Remember, Nenny's a little smaller. She's probably 8 or whatever. And she's just being silly, but also not. She's kind of genuinely asking, like, we name the clouds? Like, who, what, James? Peter? Whatever? She's like, names for clouds? And then, of course, one of the girls jumps in and says, that up there, that's cumulus. You all know the names of clouds based on science, right? Cumulus. Everybody looks up. Cumulus are cute, Rachel says. Yeah, Rachel. She would say something like that. What's that one there? Nenny asks, pointing a finger. That's cumulus too. They're all cumulus today. Cumulus, cumulus, cumulus. No, she says, that there is Nancy. This is Nettie. She's going to name the clouds for you. That's Nancy, otherwise known as Pig Eye. And over there, that's cousin Mildred and little Joey, Marco, Nareda, and Sue. They're all different kinds of clouds. How many different kinds of clouds can you think of? Well, there's these already that look like shaving cream. And what about that kind? Looks like you combed its hair. Yes, those are clouds too. Phyllis, Ted, Alfredo, Julie. There are clouds that look like big fields of sheep, Rachel says. Them are my favorite. And don't forget Nimbus, the rain cloud I add. That's something. Jose and Dagoberto, Alicia, Raul, Edna, Alma, and Ricky. There's that wide puffy cloud that looks like your face when you wake up after falling asleep with all your clothes on. You guys know this concept where you come home from a long day and I'm just going to lay down for just a second. You lay down, it's usually on that pillow that has all the texture or that blanket that's folded up wrong, and you wake up and you got this weird print on your face and it does not go away for like 30 minutes. And it's usually you've been woken up because someone came over, so you got to go down and see them, and you got that print on your face. And your mom's like, oh, this is Rachel. And Rachel's like, hi, I just woke up and get this weird print on your face. So she's like, that cloud looks like your face after that nap. It's very ridiculously descriptive, I know. And then there's Nenny. They're talking about all this stuff, and she's like, Ronaldo, Angelo, Albert, Armando, Mario. Not my face. Looks like your fat face. Rita, Marty, Ernie. Who's fat face? Esperanza's fat face. That's who. Looks like Esperanza. Esperanza's ugly face when she comes to school in the morning. Anita, Stella, Dennis, and Lolo. Who you calling ugly? Ugly. Richie, Yolanda, Hector, Stevie, Vincent. Not your mama. Or not you, your mama. That's who. My mama? You better not say. You better not be saying that, Lucy Guerrero. You better not be talking like that, else you can say goodbye to being my friend forever. Such a grown-up conversation we're having. I'm saying your mama's ugly like bare feet in September.
Oh,
I know. That does it. Both of yous better get out of my yard before I call my brothers. Oh, we're only playing. I can think of 30 Eskimo words for you, Rachel. 30 words that say what you are. Oh, yeah? Well, I can think of some more. Uh-oh, Nenny. Better get the broom. Too much trash in our yard today. She just called them trash. Frankie, Licha, Maria, Pee-wee. Nenny, you better tell your sister she is really crazy, because Lucy and me are never coming back here again. Forever. Reggie, Elizabeth, Lisa, Louie.
That's so many clouds.
You can do what you want to do, Nenny, but you better not talk to Lucy or Rachel if you want to be my sister. You know what you are, Esperanza? You are like the cream of wheat cereal. You're like the lumps. Oh, some of y'all, I realize, don't know what cream of wheat cereal is. So let's look it up. Yes, it was very popular in the 60s, but that was before they had awesome cereals. So let's look at some images of cream of wheat.
Uh-oh.
It's loading. So cream of wheat kind of came in this little container, and you like made it real quick, and it was kind of like oatmeal, but the lumps in it like never separated, and it was always chunky almost. It's like mashed potatoes with like a ton of lumps in it.
so like
Kind of like grits, but kind of like whole grains only. Anyway, I hated it. I hated
There's a
it.
cocoa version of it.
So they're saying that you're like the lumps in that cream of wheat. So anyway, yeah, and your foot fleas, that's you. Chicken lips, rosemary, dahlia, lily, cockroach jelly, Jean, geranium, and Joe. Cold frijoles. Frijoles is beans. So she just called it her cold beans. So the problem with English is we took a beautiful word like frijoles and made it beans. Like that's a horrible English word. Beans. Like it doesn't come across well. But in Spanish it's beautiful. Frijoles. I would love to have some frijoles, but beans I'm like, I don't know. Anyway. Frijoles. Mimi, Michael, Mo. She's still listing names of clouds. Your mama's frijoles.
Oh!
Your ugly mama's toes. That's stupid. Bebe, Blanca, Benny. Who's stupid? Rachel, Lucy, Esperanza, and Minnie. So what she's done here is she's not paying attention at all. She's just naming the clouds, and she ran out of names, or she finally came across 4, and she's like, that looks like us. And she says it, but it's right after this question, which makes it brilliant. Sometimes kids have the best timing, and they don't even mean to. And she's like, who's stupid? Rachel, Lucy, Esperanza, and Minnie. So why didn't I mark anything in that?
Because it's all buildings.
Because it's all what? It's all Buildings Roman. All of it. The whole thing is Buildings Roman.
That was like the best chapter.
It's great. I do love this chapter for a lot of reasons, but it shows us the different stages. Like they're having a childlike argument, but even their childlike argument seems older than Nenny, who's over there just completely oblivious to everything and just naming the clouds. I mean, if you have younger siblings, 4.5 to 6.5, like kindergarten to first grade, pre-K to second grade, in that range, or if you hung out with one recently, they just do that. They just go off on this rant. They're sitting right next to you, but they might as well not be there because they're off in their own world, right? Off in their own world. Yeah.
I thought chicken was what she was naming the clouds.
Well, some people are included in that.
There was a lot of clouds that day.
There was a lot of clouds that day, and I'm pretty impressed with her ability to
Think of names.
I know.
Like I don't even know that I could like as many. I see all of y'all every day, and I don't think I could recall. Like I see your face, and I'm like, Jet.
Who's Harrison?
Harrison Crasher. But like if I was doing that, on the fly, like looking at clouds, I'd be like, wow, what's a name? And I couldn't think of stuff. She's just rattling it up. Kids are like that though. My son, the other day we came home from school, and I took the dog outside to go to the bathroom. I'm outside for like 5 to 7 minutes. I'm outside for long enough for my dog to smell everything in the backyard, go to the bathroom, and then come inside. And I'm inside the house in 5 to 7 minutes from when I left it. But my son, I don't know how your house is, but my house has a ridiculous amount of pillows. We have pillows for everything. There's pillows that say happy fall, y'all, and stuff like that. So then we have decorative pillows on the bed. We got pillows on the guest bed. Each of my kids have their own pillows. My son's got sports pillows, and my daughter's got, ballerina pillows and all kinds of stuff. So he goes, grabs every pillow in the house while I'm outside with the dog. So 5 minutes. Gets every cushion off of every couch and chair and everything else. And he has made the floor is lava. And it is all spread out in this maze so he can jump from one to the other. And I come in and I walk in the door and he screams at me, Dad, the floor's lava. So me being I'm going to play along dad that I am, I just jumped on the nearest countertop and I was like, whoa. And he goes, good job, Dad, you're safe, And I'm like, sweet. But he had done this like he's in his own world. He can see the lava, right? I can't see the lava anymore, but I'm going to play along with him. And he's over there like counting, like doing the clouds thing. He's like, I'm going to jump to this one, then jump to this one, and then we go here, and then we go over here. Dad, we can go across the coffee table. And I'm like, no, you're not supposed to do that. But your mom's not here, so it's okay. Just jump across, So we're doing this thing, and then it's just amazing how the world of a child then switches and then they get real serious. And it's like a whole nother level of questioning where they're like, my daughter is the perfect example. She can play in that world now and then come out and go, hey, Dad, what happens to you and Dad? I'm like, I'm trying to avoid the lava right now. I can't really get into this philosophical debate with you. And so she goes, but yeah, are you okay, sweetie? She goes, Dad, there's all that room in the casket. Do they bring snacks? Do they eat?
That would be me.
And I was like, I don't know how to explain this to you, right? Remember with the clouds? Like, I almost just wanted to say, that's God, right? No, when you're dead, you don't eat. Well, I said that, but then there's a follow-up question that I couldn't make it easy enough to just say,
Call your mother.
That's a great question for your mom. She's going to be here in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to save that for her.
My dad does that to me.
Good news is it's on camera, so it's saved for eternity. So I can really embarrass her later. So let's talk about feet. But just like everything else, it's not just feet, right?
Your mom's feet.
It's your mama's feet. So there's a family of little people.
Your grandma's feet.
All right, we got 2 chapters to get through. Can we do it? I don't want you guys to have homework, so stay with me.
What's a rice sandwich?
We'll get there. It's a sandwich made of rice. It's not really hard to eat. What's a rice sandwich?
What is it?
It's a sandwich made of rice. Have you guys ever
Obviously,
done?
you have 2 rice cakes.
But
What is it
go with me
taste
down
like,
the
though?
tangent. Have you put 2 pieces of bread together, peanut butter, and then cut up a banana?
Yeah.
On there?
Yes.
Dang.
But try with
Dude,
Nutella.
those
Yeah,
are-
if you
Oh
put
yeah, with Nutella too. There you go. Anyway,
Is that what it tastes like?
oh, you want to make your mind blown? Do that exact same thing with banana bread.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
What if you took like the one that
We're already talking about banana bread.
and then the other piece of bread had Nutella and banana and they're putting it up.
I'm in. So,
Hey, back to computer reading.
all right, here we go. That tangent was brought to you by Coach Big's ADD and hunger. Hunger is important. All right. So there's this family with little feet. All right, but it's not really about feet. This chapter has nothing to do with this, even though we're going to talk about each family member and their feet for a little paragraph. So I want you to keep that in mind. So this family, there was a family, and they were all, look at this. There was a family. All were little. Their arms were little, and their hands were little, and their height was not tall, and their feet were very small.
Little.
Not tall. There's rhyme, right? This reads like a poem, right? Everywhere I put the slash, you could almost hit enter, and it would look like a poem, right? There was a family, all were little. Their arms were little, their hands were little, and their height was not tall, and their feet were very small. So,
It's like Dr. Seuss.
yes, absolutely. Dr. Seuss. But now, I want you to see that paragraph in contrast to the rest. The rest does not look like that. I like where your head's at. So let's talk about Grandpa's toes. The grandpa slept on the living room couch and snored through his teeth. His feet were fat and doughy like thick tamales. And it gets better. And these he powdered and stuffed into white socks and brown leather shoes. You know, like tamales. Sounds delicious.
Girl's hungry.
The grandma's feet were lovely as pink pearls and dressed in velvety high heels and made her walk with a wobble. But she wore them anyway because they were pretty. I mean, this is a gender role thing, right? They're not going to wear something comfortable, and that's okay because pretty. The baby's feet, 10 tiny toes, 10 tiny toes.
Alliteration.
Alliteration.
It said 11.
Yeah, well, it said 11 times.
Yes, because
Then it wouldn't be alliteration, and it would be a marvel of science. pale and
No,
toes
Some people actually have.
are pale
They
and.
snip it off.
I understand, sweetheart. Okay, the 10 tiny toes are pale and see-through,
What?
like a salamander's.
Whoa.
And these he popped into his mouth whenever he was hungry.
Oh.
You know, babies laying in the.
See?
Gross.
Well, let's just let it go first. And then
The mother's feet, plump and polite. Can feet be polite?
No, personification.
We know what they mean, but it's personification. Descended like white pigeons from the sea of pillow and across the linoleum roses, down the wooden stairs, over the chalk hop squares, 5, 6, 7, blue sky. Descended like white pigeons, which is a simile from the sea of pillow, metaphor, across the linoleum roses, imagery, down the wooden stairs, imagery, over the chalk hop squares, 5, 6, 7, blue sky, imagery.
That's also.
You also have plump, polite pigeons, pillow, for alliteration. This is a lot of stuff. If I copied this and pasted it into a question and said, name 4 literature terms that are present in this, could you?
Yes.
I hope so. That sounds like something Coach Fig would do to you. We'll see. Do you want this? Mom walks in and says with a bag, and gave us a paper bag with 1 pair of lemon shoes. Not yellow. Lemon. 1 red. 1 pair of dancing shoes that used to be white but are now pale blue. Here. And we said thank you and waited until she went upstairs. And then, hooray! Today we are Cinderella. I had to explain who Cinderella was to my last year's 8th grade class.
What?
Do I need to do that with you?
Yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah, stop it.
Who's that?
Cinderella.
You don't know.
Just ask him to search it up.
Today we are Cinderella because our feet fit exactly. And we laugh at Rachel's 1 foot with a girl's gray sock and a lady's high heel. Do you like these shoes? You know how kids are.
Her name is.
But the truth is, it is scary to look down at your foot that is no longer yours and see attached a long, long leg. What does that mean?
It makes you more mature.
It does. Just putting on those shoes without a sock on it, because they're playing dress up, right? Dress up happens when you're young. But now, all of a sudden, without a sock on, she looks down and she doesn't see a kid's foot with a sock on it playing dress up. She sees a bare foot inside of a high heel, and she feels different. She feels different. You're going to see that kind of change as we go, okay? Everybody wants to trade. The lemon shoes for the red for the pair that were once white but are now pale blue, the pale blue for the lemon, and take them off and put them back and keep on like this until we are tired. That's what kids do, right? Dress up. Change the dresses. Then Lucy screams to take our socks off. And yes, it's true. We have legs. Skinny and spotted with satin scars where scabs were picked, but legs all our own. Good to look at and long. So now we are changing from a, dress-up show to what?
Beautiful lady.
Girls trying on shoes, right? There's a point where that changes, and it's no longer dress up. It's trying on shoes, and we're looking at our legs, which are nice to look at. Yeah, they have some scars from when we were children, but now they look like legs. Exactly. And it's Rachel who learns to walk the best. And strutted in those magic high heels. She teaches us to cross and uncross our legs. Ladylike. Okay? And then, see if these go together. Run like a double Dutch rope and how to walk down to the corner so that the shoes talk back to you with every step. You know the sound of double dutch, that clack, clack, clack of the jump ropes, and then someone jumps in and you're singing a song that goes with it, right? But then she kind of mirrors with the way the shoes talk. If you've ever heard, maybe you've never been in high heels or heard your dad, or been in dress shoes, or heard your dad in dress shoes or boots. The clack, clack, clack sound, or that special sound that dress shoes make, you could hear it if someone was walking down here, this little hallway with those shoes on. You could tell what they were wearing most of the time. Okay, if somebody comes down the hallway, squeak, 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 we know they have tennis shoes on, right? For others, it's different. So, brace yourself. It's about to get a little uncomfortable. Brace yourself. Down to the corner where the men can't take their eyes off of us, we must be Christmas. How do kids look when they wake up for Christmas morning? That's how the guys are looking at these young girls in high heels, just to make it icky. Okay? But then, thank goodness, Mr. Benny's there. Mr. Benny at the corner store puts down his important cigar. Your mother know you got shoes like that? Who gave you those? Nobody? Them are dangerous. Can shoes be dangerous? I mean, kind of. Like what? But what's he getting at?
Someone will take
They will attract unwanted attention.
They will attract unwanted attention. You girls are too young to be wearing shoes like that. Take them shoes off before I call the cops. But we just run. Now,
Chocos are dangerous.
chocos are dangerous, especially if your mom's nearby. On the avenue, a boy on a homemade bicycle calls out, "Ladies, lead me to heaven."
I can't see.
Okay, it's gonna get a little awkward. Just stay with me.
I thought awkward business.
Y'all know what catcalling is?
Yeah.
It's where the guys from the street corners would say something sexual to a girl. But there is nobody around but us. So they're confused on who they're talking to at first. Rachel, do you like these shoes? Rachel's talking, and she shouldn't be. Rachel says yes. And Lucy says yes, and I say yes. These are the best shoes. We will never go back to wearing the other kind again. Do you like these shoes? In front of the laundromat, 6 girls with the same fat face pretend we are invisible. Why did they pretend they're invisible?
Because they didn't want to be
Because like
attract
they're
attention
ashamed
to
or
them.
like
They're jealous.
They were jealous.
Envy.
Envy.
Envious.
Competition, right? New girls came by with shoes on like that. Don't look at them. But we just kept strutting. They're jealous. Across the street in front of the tavern, everybody knows what a tavern is, right?
It's
It's a bar.
Oh.
Oh.
A tavern. Outside of a tavern, there's a bum. Shocker. And that bum is on the stoop of the tavern, the front step. Do you like these shoes? Rachel, shut your mouth. Bum man says, yes, little girl.
You're gonna scar yourself for life.
Yes, little girl. Your little lemon shoes are so beautiful. But come closer. I can't see very well. Creepy. Come closer, please. You are a pretty girl, bum man continues. What's your name, pretty girl? And Rachel says, Rachel. Just like that. Now you know to talk to drunks. This is her in her head, right? Now you know to talk to drunks is crazy. And to tell them your name is worse. But who can blame her? She is young and dizzy to hear so many sweet things in one day. Do they ever hear nice things said about their looks or whatever else? No. Even if it is from a bum man's whiskey words. Rachel, you are prettier than a yellow taxi cab. You know that? I mean, such a compliment, right? But we don't like it. We gotta go, Lucy says. If I give you $1, will you kiss me? Uh-oh. How about $1? I give you $1. and he looks in his pocket for wrinkled money. We have to go right now. Lucy says, taking Rachel's hand because she looks like she's thinking about that dollar. Bum Man is yelling something in the air, but by now we are running fast and far away, our high heel shoes taking us all the way down the avenue and around the block, past the ugly cousins, past Mr. Benny's shop, who may have sounded creepy at first, like, where's your mom, little girl, or whatever. But he was there to do what?
Help.
He was trying to help them, trying to protect them. He's like, hey, girl, where'd you get them shoes? You way too young to be wearing shoes like that. You don't even know what you're getting into, is what he's trying to say, right? But they go up the back way to Mango Street. We are tired of being beautiful. Lucy hides the lemon shoes and the red shoes and the shoes that used to be white but are now pale blue under a powerful bushel basket on the back porch until one Tuesday her mother, who is very clean, throws them away. But no one complains because they are
Dangerous.
unwanted attention. Why is it unwanted attention? Seems like an easy question.
That answers itself.
Why is it unwanted attention? A,
Creepy bum.
creepy bum. I mean, that makes sense, right?
They're like
Some of them are ninnies with them. How old's Ninny? 8, 9? Whew. We get little bits and pieces of information as we go, and like we can figure out how old Esperanza is, but she can't be more than like 13, 14 at this point. So like your age. So if you girls stumbled upon high heels and were walking down the street and some bum was speaking to you about it, like, it's unwanted attention for lots of different ways. Creepy old dude, creepy bum, drunk guy,
no.
underage girl, bad, all around bad, all of it.
We're not.
And then some guy in a van
Guys,
just comes
no. No.
The van.
No, don't tell me any stories. All right, say bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Y'all need to read one more chapter for homework.
Okay.
It's called A Rice Sandwich.
Who would eat a sandwich made of
A rice sandwich. Homework.
Chocolate.